Some of the most common pitfalls and solutions. Firstly, challenges that the client isn't fully committed to implementing the advice that we provided. The solution to this is from the start, work back from the desired outcomes and the available resources. And from the start, also make sure that the decision makers know the mind of the decision makers in the organization is clear. The decision maker is aware of the audit and is allocating the resources available for implementation, that they're serious about it, basically. Another challenge then is inaccurate data or incomplete baselines. And this is a common problem. You've got incomplete data. So how do you solve this problem? You've got to be quite insistent about the client supplying the data. And sometimes data's hidden, might mean a little bit more extra effort on their part. It may involve you extending the time required for the audit to install additional data logging, being able to build a better understanding of the building. Now, particularly if there's poor data and the climate is highly seasonal, you really want to be making sure that you've got a good data set that captures. Another challenge then is poor financial analysis skills. This includes the skills around estimating the cost of the upgrades as well as the accuracy in calculating the savings, which can be complicated when there's complex tariffs in play. So decision makers want confidence that your models are robust and conservative. So don't just rely on simple payback. Another challenge is generic or unactionable reports. And often this is the case where the budget is inadequate for the investment grade energy audit. And you may be promising something, but your budget just isn't good enough for you to do a good job. So you need to be pushing from the start for a decent budget. And don't just provide a generic report, but it can be quite embarrassing if you've got another building name or another client's name in that report because you've just copied and pasted from another report that you've done. So you need to use specific prioritized recommendations for that site. Take care to really look at risk mitigation and have the conversation about this before you present the report. Look at a clear implementation schedule that aligns with their available funding. And then finally, this kind of reflects the initial challenges that the client actually doesn't understand the opportunity that you're presenting. And this can be the case, particularly if you're quite technical in background and you're not speaking the language that the decision makers understand. So you need to present the findings in a language that is specific to the client's goals, whether they're cost savings, compliance, corporate sustainability, or risk management. And you need to speak the language of finance because typically major savings require major investment.